lots have been made about the nature of thought, the nature of like what does psychic mean, what does it mean to have a connection, that sort of thing. There's a bunch of like a connection with someone else that you can feel, that you can sense, that you're actually part of, that's actually real for you, or whatever. In other words, can you experience life through another? And I know I'm not talking about the idea of living vicariously through your children or something like that, where they go off and have the adventures you missed out on. But I mean, in the moment, in a specific moment, can you feel the world, or see the world, or hear the world the way another does? Here's the thing about the sexual union, is that it gives us an opportunity to get beyond ourselves, to get out of ourselves, and to experience life as bigger than we are, because we can experience ourselves through our lover, through the person that we're connected with. And the quality of that connection, the depth of that connection, can make a big difference in how much you open up, both men and women. For the men's inner game, the process is really knowing who you are, being complete in that, and like a mountain, being present for the wind, for the weather that comes through the woman. Now the woman is going to be changing and shifting all the time. This is women's kind of nature. Very much the way the wind shifts, very much the way a river meanders through things. And so this is an analogy that I want to make it a little easier for you to grasp. But if you're at the mountain, don't you think you could feel the wind blow against you, or the rivers run from your glaciers off to the sea? Don't you think that that's something that the mountain could be aware of? And couldn't that wind be aware of the feeling that it is exerting on the mountain as it blows? Well, if you're a man and you're inside of a woman, and I don't think we can separate the body from the mind, from the spirit, from anything else. If you're a man and you're inside of a woman, what does that feel like to her? How does that move her? Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And can you take her someplace where she's never been before? Can you go someplace where you've never been before? Because every moment is a fresh moment. But you don't have to be locked inside your own experience. When you're in union with someone else, you can experience through them, and in that way begin to expand until you can have that same level of pleasure, not only filling yourself, filling your partner, but filling your room, the people near you, and everyone you encounter, and maybe even people that you've never met, maybe filling the entire planet with that level of love and pleasure. When we experience that kind of depth of pleasure, it can counteract all of the pain and suffering, the fears that have existed in what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. Most religions call spirit. In fact, in the West, we have a spirit idea that encapsulates both the good, like the Holy Spirit, and the things that are not so good, like they say that there was an angel that fell, this sort of thing. But nevertheless, all of these things exist in consciousness, and we are conscious beings. So while I'm not afraid of one, I don't necessarily have to dwell in one, and I can experience the other. But the thing is this, when I experience pleasure, that deep, deep, intense connection, that deep, deep pleasure, I wipe out the things that prevent it, the things that are obstacles to it, the things that get in the way. So it really is sort of like good overcoming evil, if we consider evil to be fear, restriction, holding back. In fact, even it might even be considered that multitasking in that scenario, when there's the possibility for connection, that going in and out of that connection all the time, maybe not the best way to really change and make the impact on your life that most people want to have. So most people want to be happy. Most people want to be successful. Most people want to feel just delicious inside and have that kind of wonderful, bubbly life that they know they could have. But they've taught themselves, and society's conditioned them to repress those things. Well, through pleasure, you begin to release the blockages that were created. Maybe not through society, maybe so, but maybe also through fear, maybe through experiences that weren't completely positive. All those things can hold you back, can hold a person back, and keep a person shut down. And when you go into that connected kind of pleasure, that kind of release that I'm talking about, all that stuff goes away. And if it goes away for a moment, it can go away for 2 moments. And if it can go away for 1 or 2 moments, it can go away for longer periods of time. In fact, you can live without those restrictions. It's a shift in perspective. And the way to start training yourself, the way to start training your lover, is to connect first, and then begin to expand, and then begin to take it where it wants to go. So, for more about this, you can go to Deep Feminine Radiance or Men's Inner Game, or the whole idea of the love explosion is what we're really talking about here. And I'll get into more details about specifics of it a little bit later, but I just wanted to give you a little heads up for what's coming.